Where do I start? They say life imitates art. I'm trying to paint a picture. Paint a picture that's licking you scripture. I ain't just another nigga. Another nigga with a dream. It seems we finally made him all believe. A dream to be the reason we come to achieve. The life that we would all kill for, even die for. High score, so sick, so sick. Sick and tired of these little kids talking grown shit.
P's back.
Yay.
Haven't seen P in a minute.
Did you miss me?
Yeah, of course we miss you. The people miss you too. Duh. And Lauren's here.
Hi.
Oh, it's been a minute.
I know. Travel
Probably been
things.
like 2 weeks.
That's a minute.
That seems like a long
That's
time.
a minute.
Especially as we see each other at work, but we'd be like passing by quick. Sometimes
I know, exactly.
Just like, this is our like
hang out.
Our moments. We have moments before and after, and we get to just like chill and like pause life and just like.
And usually eat good food.
Oh, Colin's up there, chef boy, our big man.
Can we please get that on an apron?
Chef boy, our big man. Yeah, please. He would look great in that too.
Yeah, totally.
You want to see him naked in the apron, cooking steak.
He like uses bacon semi-regularly, so I feel like that's a painful thing. Naked bacon fry. That's like a challenge. It's like a dare.
I dare my dick.
Oh my god. That's a short apron.
Let him know. It's a big man upstairs. God. That's, comes with what it is. Don't be mad at the man. Yo, for everybody who doesn't know, this is Changing the Name of the Podcast. Episode 60. I'm your host, Terrence Taylor. I'm joined by my home slice, home diggity.
Lauren Sears.
Pirates in the building. What up, Parvati?
What up
to the people? She says hi. Parvati says hi. She has her headphones on, so she's plugged in with us just like you
Finally.
are. Listeners.
Doesn't it sound way better?
Yes.
It's not so like, who are these weirdos talking to microphones over there? You're like in the world.
Yeah.
Welcome to the world. I've had some people reach out randomly over the last little bit asking about coming on the show,
awesome.
to sit in on the show. I've never been on a podcast before. I'd love to see.
We got to get like a love seat or something.
Yeah. Yeah, this space is being used for nothing. We should find a way to maximize it.
When is Brielle coming with the art?
He actually just sent me the pictures as we were sitting here.
Yay, that's exciting.
Yeah, so we're gonna decorate.
Sweet.
Decorations.
Asylum walls.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make
plain.
We're gonna jazz it up.
Awesome. I also hate this light fixture, so if we can
we do something with
raise
that?
some money for that shitty light fixture, that'd be great.
We was just talking about Patreon.
I know.
We was talking about Patreon. So anybody who knows anything about Patreon and who's used Patreon, let us know. Reach out because we want to know, because we try to get on Patreon. We just recorded like
trying to get our Patreon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? On. Like on for real. So we just recorded like 15 minutes that nobody's gonna hear. We might just like stash some for this whole Patreon plan we got, because we're trying to get the people some exclusive content and see if y'all really fuck with us, put your money where your mouth is.
Some more fun stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it sexy stuff? Or is it wild stuff?
Dirty things?
Who knows, Terrence? It could be anything.
It could be anything. We also have I'm gonna put this out in the universe, but I'm not gonna tell all the details. But we got something special for episode 69. Now that we're in the 60s. And we want to end it.
You gotta be prepared.
Listen.
And you don't want to get caught.
And it's love with Lauren.
You know?
So, listen. You know what I'm thinking, folks, but you don't.
Because we're super mature.
Well, why would we be? What's the point?
Exclusive content.
Listen, sometimes we're here to be intellectual. Sometimes we're here to be insightful. Sometimes we're just here for the shits. And that's just what it is. And I know some people.
Thank you. You know, it can't be super serious all the time, because then life's not fun.
What's the point?
Exactly.
I remember Peter talking about it, reaching out. One episode we thought we did so shitty. We were so tired and we were just chilling. Yeah. We got really great reception and really great feedback from that episode. So maybe give people a little more chillax time, because we'd be here talking for a minute before we actually start.
It's true.
So we can give up some of them little juicy gems for a small fee. For a small monthly fee. Just because you support us. You know what I'm saying? It's love. We ain't taking your money and giving you nothing. We're gonna give you some special things.
Well, there's also exactly.
So we got like toques and shit that we made that ain't nobody gonna see, and we're gonna take some cool pictures in, and exclusive stuff. So be on the lookout.
Maybe we want to throw a party.
Ooh, who doesn't like a good party?
Exactly.
For like the listeners, you mean?
Yeah, why not? Just saying, put it in the universe. You never know what's gonna happen.
So now that it's out there, we gotta figure out a way to make it happen. Beware for episode 69. We in the 60s now. That's pretty cool. We're like on the other. Oh, I'm really happy for what we're doing. Just want to show all my people some love. Send out my gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Love, Pyre, Dwayne, Peter, Mike, Brielle, Sandra, Kyler, listeners on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everybody. Much love to everybody, yo. We out here.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah. We appreciate y'all. See, I'm out of breath. I be getting excited. I really do, man. I be getting excited.
That's not a good sign.
Getting out of breath?
Yeah.
From talking about how excited I am and thanking all these people. I got so many people to thank that I can't even say it on one breath that I run out of air. That's a good thing, Pyre. It's a lot of people to thank. It's a lot of love out here we're trying to share. You ready? Pyre's ready. Oh, yeah, I got to get my list. Housekeeping. First thing in business is housekeeping. Lauren, you know what we got on the housekeeping list?
No.
Of course you do. Come on, Lauren, tell me what's on the housekeeping list. You're the one who told me to think about going to the naturopath.
Oh, yeah. Housekeeping. Sorry. I thought that's different. I thought those are weeks.
I'm just Oh, is that in your week? Is that in your weekly share? Okay, so then it's not in housekeeping. We can't talk about
because I feel like we could even go, I haven't seen you in so long. I could be like, what did you do on Monday? And then what did I do on Monday? And then what did you do on Tuesday? What did I do on Tuesday?
Okay, so I do have, so quick.
Yeah.
I got some housekeeping since you ain't got none.
I thought it was like check it. Okay,
this is like
it.
This is like quick. This is like quick. See, first thing on the housekeeping list is make sure you go to changethenarrative.ca. First and foremost.
That's housekeeping.
That's the thing. That's important for people to know because Mike made this beautiful website.
It really is.
And we're still working.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate you. We're working through the bugs and we're working through things. So people can go to the website and be like, yo, I was there and it's great, but because we need to hear from the people. So don't be shy to share how you feel because we're only doing this for y'all. That's very important. Changethenarrative.ca. The other thing in housekeeping is I've been losing some pounds. Lost a few pounds since January. I stopped.
Good for you.
Thank you. Not that I haven't boozed at all. I had a few booze experiences. I had a few boozes, yeah. But not in the excessive abundance that I usually consume boozes.
Good for you.
I maybe had like in the month of January, in like the first week of February, I maybe had 3 bottles of wine and like a couple little shots at like one occasion. That's it.
Good for you. How do you feel?
I feel light.
Literally pounds lighter.
I feel lighter. I feel that my clothes aren't stuck to me.
That's a good feeling. I gotta say, because I hate when my shit feels really tight. And like I got fluff spilling over everything, and I'm just like.
And there's clothes I put on because I was talking to somebody about this. They're like, men go through that too. I'm like, hell, motherfucking yeah, we go through this. I put a shirt on. Look, I had titties on from the inside, and I was like, I'm not wearing this shirt.
Yeah,
I'm putting a sweater on. Mm-hmm. Or I'm let me put an undershirt on so I can try to suck this titty fat back into my body close enough so it's not poking through my sweater. Like my nipples and hard through. No, it's unacceptable behavior, and I don't want to look at myself while I look like this.
Aww.
So some of the things that didn't fit are fitting a little bit better. Some of my big ass t-shirts and my big sweaters that I've been wearing because I just want to cover my whole juiciness up. I'm pushing those to the side, trying to.
Good for you.
It's good, and it's honestly, it's like less booze and less eating out. I probably ate out the most times the last like 2 days because I was just like, you know what,
need a break.
Yeah, but other than that, which is saving me a hell of a lot of money, which is a great feeling.
I know, seriously.
So taking those 2 things out and going to the gym.
You're killing it. Oh, I'm so off the wagon.
Here's the thing. It's like 2-3 days a week.
Yeah. Which
at first I was like, oh, that's not enough. I want to go every day. But I'm like, that's just like, okay, I know you want to go every day.
Right.
But
let's be real
for
here.
The first month, when you do 4 sets of 20s and tomorrow you can't lift something, maybe you should give yourself a month of just going.
Recovery's important for gains too, though.
That's what I'm saying. So instead of trying to set this wildly high bar at the beginning, 2 to 3 days a week for January. Maybe it's 3 to 4 days in February, 4 to 5 days in March. Like, instead of just jumping into it, give myself the time to like improve. So it's feeling good.
I'll get re-inspired.
It's feeling good. Well, listen, once the summer comes, because that's what I'm trying to say. I got shorts that I need to have nice legs in, because long shorts is not cool no more. So I gotta have them above the knee with the little cuff hem. So I gotta have nice legs in the jeans.
I like to see some nice legs in some dudes. That's
what I'm saying. You don't skip leg day, especially in summertime when you're trying to show it off. You got big old upper arms, body, chest, shoulders. Little wiggly legs. Get the fuck out of here, man. You and your boys don't skip leg day. So I'm just trying to look good, because I don't want to look at myself and feel shitty.
I agree.
I don't care what nobody else thinks and how they feel. If I have to look at myself in the mirror and don't want to look that long, that's not good. And that's how I was feeling. Mm-hmm. Just not giving two fucks about what I need to do to be a good human.
But it's all about making yourself feel better.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel good. I feel great. And I'm also trying to figure out where I'm going on my next adventure. I have my PD money I got to spend. So I'm in where am I going to go learn something? So, okay, if I can learn something and go somewhere cool, mix the two of them up, boom, let's make it happen. That would be fun. So plotting and planning my next plan and seeing what I'm going to do. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to find out.
Good for you. That's exciting.
Yeah. I'm
lots of exciting times. Well, you sound like you're back on the horse, and when I'm like off the horse, so bad.
We gotta figure out a way to keep you on the horse. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's up and down. It's up and down.
Ain't that
same thing? Like the last couple of weeks, you only ate it like a couple times. It was like opposite. We started out January super awesome, and then it was like I stopped journaling. And then April and I stopped doing the workouts. And then we started eating out more. Yeah. So now I'm like completely off the wagon.
Well, it's February.
I know.
So all that shit that everybody was so like gung-ho about for January. Yeah. Okay, 30 days. Okay, cool. But can you keep going to the next month?
Yeah. So we're trying to get back on track. So we did a bunch of cooking this weekend, which is great.
Good.
So that should start the week out well. You know, I did yoga yesterday. I did a stretch today. We're getting there.
Good. Good. So tell me about last week. Tell me about all the shit you had going on. You said you was eating what you were supposed to be eating because you was on the road, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. This week wasn't too bad. So we rewind all the way back to Monday.
Okay, go.
Monday. I went to a naturopath for the first time.
Okay, so for those who don't know, what is a naturopath?
A naturopath is a doctor, but they went to like naturopathic doctor school, not medical doctor school. So
their practices are of the natural sense instead of from the like prescription-y.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Cool.
So historically, GPs are great for lots of stuff, but it tends to be like, my eczema is super bad, give me some cream, or I need a birth control pill, or I need a shot. Okay, awesome. Here you go. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was sort of missing something. So I felt like I needed a little bit kind of a different care. So one of my friends went to the same naturopath and I saw that she had a really positive testimonial. So I was like, well, I didn't know that's what kickstarted my friend's path of feeling way better. She like lost 20 pounds, all this kind of stuff.
Right.
I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to go to her. Totally worth the half-hour drive. It was like a free consultation for 15 minutes. I get in there on her last appointment of the day, and we just sort of started chatting. And she's quite young, and made me feel really comfortable. But then the first question she asked me, she goes, "So tell me what's going on." And I don't know what it was about the way she framed that question, but I was just like,
"Uh-oh.
Oh my God!" And I started crying in her office, and she just like hands me a box of Kleenex, like very reassuringly. And she's like, "This always happens. You do what you got to do." And I'm just like, I'm not a crier.
Yeah.
Right. I've got to hit a pretty high stress level to be crying.
Right.
And so I just said to her, I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting this to, be like this right now. Obviously, this tells you how stressed I am.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm reading through kind of like the things that you wrote down. I get migraines. My hair falls out. My eczema was like flaring up really terribly. I get cold sores, all these things. And she's like, so tell me like what you do. And I'm like, I'm an entrepreneur. As a side hustle, I'm like, moving up in this other business. I do a podcast. I coach, blah, 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 blah. My dad died 5 years ago. This and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah.
she's like, so a lot of stress.
Yeah.
A lot of stress. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, it's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And so anyways, we were just sort of having a chat and
would be
again, in
very-
15 minutes, you'd be right. What?
Interested to see you in that, like broken down, emotional, like teary eyed. Because I see you, and I'm sure many people see you as like boss lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick everyone's ass. Don't fuck with me. I'm on my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And to see you at the polar opposite of that, I would just be very interesting.
Yeah. It's something that doesn't happen a lot. And because it doesn't happen a lot is why my fucking hair falls out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there are absolutely consequences to stress, whether they express themselves that way.
Yeah.
Or I've always said for years, I've said my stress manifests itself like physically.
Right.
Like it's not here, it's this way.
Yeah.
And I can't say that that's the best way to handle that shit. Cause I think I just bury stuff or I like try and numb it out and just like, nope, stoicism. And like that serves up to a point, but then
Stoicism?
like being, have you heard of being stoic?
I've heard the word.
It's like being it's like exercising control over your emotions and just being able to sort of like let it wash over you.
Gotcha.
Like being strong in the moment.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Gotcha. Stoic.
Which comes across as looking kind of hard sometimes.
Right.
But no, I should break down more often. Right. So anyway, she's just telling me like, okay, let's talk about the stress-induced alopecia, which she had a different name for and I don't remember it because it's long and scientific, starts with a T.
My father had alopecia.
Yeah? Like full-blown alopecia?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I'm not like that. I just get bald spots. So I'll have like chunks of hair fall out and find like bald spots the size of like nickels or quarters.
Yeah.
Like just somewhere randomly.
Yeah.
And it's happened for like 12 years. And the parts that it grows in, but never as long as the rest of my hair.
Right.
So I'm explaining this to her. And I said, people tell me all the time, oh, you have lots of hair. And she said, yeah, that's not the same thing. And I said, thank you for saying that, because I know I'm not crazy. I know my hair is falling out. And yes, I understand I still have lots of hair, but it's not like it was, not even close, maybe 50%. So she said, not the same thing. Oh yeah, I'm convinced. So anyways, she's telling me I've been running on an adrenal response for a long time.
Okay.
Like I'm going to a stress response, which means, and the least important piece of your body is your hair. So if you're going to get rid of something or stop feeding it, what's it going to be? It's that.
Okay.
So essentially my hair right now, I've been in such a stressed state for a long period of time that my hair is just in like a pre-death stage all the time.
Wow.
Depressing. So anyways,
A little bit.
we have an appointment on Wednesday. We're going to do the whole real intake and see what the heck we got to deal with here. But I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to make me feel a lot better. So that's one thing I did for myself on Monday that was like all self-care related. Plus I go into the walk-in to get more freaking steroid cream. So exact opposite of naturopath, but my skin is a lot less blown up. So yay!
Your body needed some TLC in your mind.
Totally. And I had to make it a priority. So I'm making it a priority this week. Have to.
You're important, Lauren.
Have to.
You better start acting like
Have
it.
to. Exactly. What did you do on Monday?
Good breath. What did I do on Monday? Mondays I don't go to the office because they're like my personal work get my shit in order days. And this has really, in reflecting back on like finding ways to adjust our weeks and like make the most of them, this has been a thing that has been working so far. And I like it because I have the time.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
I don't feel rushed.
Yeah, you've been saying that.
Super rushed. And like the week seems to go by like quote unquote faster. But I feel like I feel like my checklist and like my lists of things to do are shorter. And I feel like it's a combination of a lot of things, right? Like not giving myself so many things to do, but also making sure that I have the time to do the things that I need to do. So I'm not feeling like this list of 4 turns into, oh, I only did 2 today. That goes on my list tomorrow. Now that list of 6 turns. And
yeah, you're prioritizing
2 things a day.
Good for you.
And I get them done and I feel good about it. So, excuse me. Monday, I got my first wedding finished.
Yay! That's exciting.
That's very, very exciting. And so,
did you send it to the clients yet?
I did.
And what was the feedback?
I'm still waiting for the feedback that got me like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
But I know it's fire. I already know it's lit.
I know.
So,
I also know it's fire.
Yeah, you've seen it. So
I loved it.
Thank you. I need to. The things that they will ask me to change will be so minuscule in terms of like what the piece actually is. So I'm not bothered by that. I know I made really good work, so I feel really good about that. And so I have a few other little projects that I was working on, and oh man, TTM is working, yo. And we can get it. Thank you very much, Pri. I appreciate that. To the point now where I'm turning work down.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. That's a good milestone.
Stuff that I want to do and I know would look good on a portfolio, but I'm starting to get to the point of, all right, what is it worth? Okay, maybe it's not the best paid gig, but Andy Hines said this: in every job you do, if you're not either pushing your creativity or like doing something better than you did before, you shouldn't do it. And so I took that into this job thinking, okay, is this pushing me creatively? And then so I was like, okay, well, if it's not, I need to ask for that creative leeway. And then I wasn't warranted that creative leeway. And I was like, you know what? And the client I explained to them, they're like, I get it. I really wish you could do it because you're the person we really want to do it. And I felt really good about that piece, but I also felt good about like, I have to also look at what my time is worth, what it is that I'm doing. Is it worth the stress of running around and doing? Maybe not. And so it just felt good to be able to have that much more control because oddly enough, a proposal for a 5-figure contract came about later on in the day, like wildly. A request for a proposal. So I was like, okay,
see, leaving yourself open for stuff you really want to do.
You know what? It was like a weird sign. I just realized right now that happened on the same day, but it's cool to see it.
Here's my question though.
Answer.
So how many of those do you turn down before you think about hiring a protege? So let them do the stuff that you've had the reps doing. You can oversee them, but you're still making that revenue. Have you thought about that?
I have thought about that. I have thought about that. And my answer is, I don't feel like I've pushed myself. Like, I want to be able to reach out. I know that like there's social mandate things that like I have pledged to do and will do. There's also like, I need to take care of me first.
No, totally. I mean, I don't mean the social one. I mean, do you have a critical mass where you could hire another person to do more work and make more money?
Here's the thing. yes, but there's also a piece of me that knows the time and effort it goes into training someone, and that's where I think it's
Got
you know
it.
what
So you don't want to have the capacity to do that
no
right now. Yeah.
because there's some
Good for you.
There's some things that in my personal life I'm like, you know what, I would love for my business to grow, but I don't need it to grow at this rate.
Yeah.
Like I see what I'm doing. I see kind of what the next 18 months look like. And I'm like, if I could just not have to worry about business stuff, because I worked this hard to kind of get to this. Okay, we're here. Then let me just get to we were talking about this earlier. Like we have goals, we set them, and we get to the goal. We're so excited to set the next goal and reach the next milestone. It's like, can you just enjoy
Good for you.
the one that you're at right now? So there's a few like personal life things that I need to do that are like some personal, like check the box milestones. Some other just like I just need to do them because like life is life. But there's a few other things that I think over the next like 18 to 24 months that I need to put in place. And then as soon as, because if what I foresee in the next 6 months goes as planned, jokes.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited because it's working. And I think, again, we keep talking about why will people listen to this podcast? Why is anybody going to give a shit about what it is that we're doing? We're talking about being entrepreneurs. We're actual entrepreneurs because we have businesses and they're successful. And if it's business and it's numbers.
Getting there, trying.
Well, and if we can show through, guess what? We did X amount of jobs worth X amount of dollars. And like, this is the proof that our shit is working because all anybody cares about is numbers. Cool. Let's do some of that shit so that we can validate all this shit that we talk, basically. So I'm excited for that. That's how this whole week was. There's a few people calling me from the States trying to do jobs here.
That's cool.
And like I went to pick up a check at X location and Brielle was there working, making money. And
Great.
It was the fucking best feeling.
That's awesome.
So I just was seeing like the business side of it start to like move how I should. That made me feel really good.
Awesome.
Very, very good.
I spent the rest of my week in Ottawa.
Yeah, you were off.
Yeah, I was in Ottawa. I flew in on Tuesday. And there was a few CGS staff there. Their bisocial conference was happening. So on Wednesday, went to the bisocial conference. It was at the Crown Plaza in Gatineau. And just kind of like a one-day conference all about social procurement. So David LePage and his crew were there representing, and lots of networking opportunities. Just talking about kind of what's been going on in lots of different sectors around buying for good kind of thing.
So for those who maybe don't know, social procurement, what the hell is procurement? Procurement
is when you have buyers for a corporation or an institution, like a university or a hospital. They have to buy things. Like there are people there that their job is to order product. You need toilet paper, you need towels, you need all the things that, if you think about a hospital, think about all the things that need to be ordered. Yeah. And then there's like a cafeteria. You got to order everything for that too. So you have large places where lots and lots of people go, where people have a lot of purchasing power. So because they buy lots of things, they spend lots of money. And if they buy in different ways, they can influence certain things. So if you only ever buy the cheapest stuff, you're always going to support probably one of the largest corporations. Social procurement is when you start to consider additional value instead of just cheapest price. So that could be an environmental benefit, that could be a cultural benefit, that could be a social benefit. And so this whole conference was, how can we educate people about social procurement? What's been done positively? Where is it working? Can you show us some examples? What's coming? What do you think the future looks like? There's a lot of conversation happening around social procurement right now in Canada and around the world, but it's happening at sort of every level of government, really. How can we not necessarily spend more money to support a nonprofit that produces tables, as an example, and that nonprofit, the people that make the tables, maybe have barriers to employment. You don't need to spend more money to support those people, but by purchasing tables from those guys that are helping people with barriers instead of the factory Acme Co. That's the cheapest thing ever. You're putting dollars generally back into your own local community. Because it tends to be local, community-based businesses that support those kinds of folks. And you're still getting the product that you need. So it's
Facts.
a more benefit. So that's kind of what the conference was about. Joseph did the social shift screening that evening. That apparently went really well.
Nice.
I saw my new niece.
Yes.
Her name is Bridget. She's really cute. She vomited on me. It was all good. It was all good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, such is life.
Yeah.
And then the Thursday, Joseph and I got to hang out for a bit. We had a brunch at the West End together.
Ooh.
It was a very lovely brunch. And then we did some shopping. I got new jeans.
Nice.
And new bathing suits.
Ooh.
Costa Rica, baby.
Summer
Gotta get
time.
ready.
Summertime.
Yeah. And they were on sale. It's all on sale. So bonus.
Do you, queen?
Yeah. Had to do me. I rarely spend money on myself. So this was a good week for me in self-care. Dave and Steffi had really good meetings, like national level meetings. We're part of that S4ES project. So Social Enterprise Institute is one of those partners. And so sounds like there's more exciting developments there on that federal contract. So we've been building capacity in social entrepreneurs around education and creating a coaching certification. So folks that want to work with as a business coach for social enterprises actually have some credibility and a little more nuance on how those business models work. So that's super exciting. Ooh. Yeah. And then Thursday night, we had dinner at Sir John A. Macdonald's old house.
Sir John A. Macdonald, like the first
first Prime Minister of Canada.
You went to his house?
Yes. There was an event there. The First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, was in Canada to talk about strengthening the relationship between Canada and Scotland around trade, particularly around food and drink and social enterprise. So that was like a really exciting conversation.
Right.
And even better was they brought Scotland's national chef, who is oh my God. We'll have to look up his name and put it in here because I can't remember right now. Atta girl. Anyways, super nice guy. So the food was ridiculous. They'd flown everything in from Scotland.
What?
Oh, listen. So this is so ridiculous, right? Flew it all in from Scotland. I guess this is what diplomats do, right? When you're talking about these relations. Well, I guess I learned this is kind of what they're doing. So they were like, these are the things that we want to be able to share more with Canada. They want to create more Scottish exports, food and drink. So they had brought all of their stuff. So we walk into this little reception. There's like 3 different kinds of smoked salmon, like Scottish smoked salmon, a dozen different kinds of cheeses, 4 different kinds of gin, 5 different kinds of scotch. And then we walked in this other room and they had 2 other spreads. So they had Scottish beef, lamb, scallops, mussels, haggis.
Baby.
Which I tried and actually was pretty good.
Feed me.
Yeah. And then they had this little like chowder broth thing and potatoes.
Good,
well, I guess this is how they all party. It was really quite fancy. But she's also a wonderful speaker, First Minister Sturgeon. And so she made this really funny joke about how we both have very powerful neighbors to the south that maybe we don't. She insinuated
Yep.
But the person that introduced her was the British High Commissioner. So she wasn't laughing. But everybody else was like cackling because we thought that was hilarious. But anyways.
You can't laugh at that joke out loud.
It's pretty funny. And then they had a dessert table. So we just got to kind of meet some of these folks. Nice. We're all pretty young. That was sort of like Jerry Higgins' intention, and Dave's intention was like, we want to introduce these people to like our young staff. So it was pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
The food was really good.
Yeah.
And some of the young people,
The chef's name is Gary McLean.
Thank you, Gary McLean. And so they had actually brought in some young people from Ottawa, social enterprise style, young people that were like street involved or had barriers to employment to come help make the food that night. And oh my God. Like I said, it was really ridiculous. But it was super good.
You living good, Lo.
You know what? It was a good one. Small benefits.
You keep doing what you
travel
do.
week.
You keep doing what you do.
Oh, and then Friday we came home.
Yes.
And we beat Dal.
Yes.
In their home gym. After they had been talking about them being ranked first in the country, which is really impressive. And their record was 16-0. And now it's 16-1.
Yeah, it is.
Which is great. So I was really proud of the girls. They played really well.
Fuck
and
yeah.
then they won again today against Moncton. So it was great.
Get dubs.
It's a good week. It's a good week.
Prior Jess and I went and watched you and Hillary kick
I know.
ass.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
appreciate you guys coming.
Family tings, you know?
That's good.
Family tings.
That's good.
Yo, before we continue, is that all you have for your week?
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you have for me? Okay, cool. Because I want to... There's this really cool song that I found that I want to play for Lauren because it makes me happy.
Is it like Scoop de Coop? Because if it's like
dope.
that, you know, we're winning.
It's a dope song. I want you to hear it. Why is it not playing? You know this guy?
Yeah, who is this?
John Bellion? You know
This is
John
a good
Bellion?
song, yeah.
It's a dope song. Ooh, yeah, John Bellion. The song's called All Time Low. There's a reason that I wanted to play it because I really fuck with it. And this is going to be like a really cool way for me to segue me going to the washroom because I have to pee really bad.
There you go.
But I want to play this really cool part of the song because I heard it and it made me think of Lauren and I got so excited. I loved it.
Oh, jeez.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Y'all ready?
That I'm at an all time.
Is that my intro?
Yeah.
My theme song?
Low, 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 low.
I like it. I can dig it.
I gotta pee by. Low.
Yeah.
We got topics?
We do. You got the list.
I got the list of topics.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Pyre's ready. Okay. So we have a few things on our shit list. First, we're gonna talk about this really cool article that Lauren found about.
Yeah, I just kind of want to mention it because I thought it was. Wait, you sent it to me, right?
I did send it to you.
Where is it?
Networks in women, career prospects, percentages of success, the type of people that you hang out with, determine your future. That's topic one. Gucci Prada and these racist ass motherfucking designer brand bullshits. Blackface ass motherfuckers. We'll talk about that shit. And another old white man doing what old white men do.
I haven't even heard this one yet. I'm kind of like, oh, okay.
Goddamn Liam Neeson.
Oh, man.
Oh. So Lauren doesn't even know
More on
the story.
more shit happening this week, I guess.
You don't even know what happened with Liam Neeson, do you? At all. Okay, so we're gonna share this news with Lauren on the fly because she don't know. So you want to start with your article?
I do. I just thought it was really interesting, and I think supports experiences that I've had myself.
Okay.
In that I've got some really close, powerful women in my life.
Yeah.
Par is one of them. And this article, they did a study. Researchers at the University of Notre Dame in Indiana and Northwestern University in Illinois found that women who communicate regularly with a female-dominated inner circle are more likely to attain high-ranking leadership positions.
So women that hang with other women win more.
Yeah. If you're talking about career prospects, and if you're talking about level of position within organizations, women that have a female-dominated inner circle, like those that are closest to them,
right,
according to this study, are 2.5 times greater likelihood to have higher placement in their job.
Okay, so the first question I would have is, that goes against the stereotypical, like, women are bitches and catty and they can't be friends with each other, but this in career is the opposite.
Yeah, so here's what they said. It's only a couple paragraphs. I'll read it to you, and then we can post it in the thing. Because I thought this was just really interesting.
Changing the narrative.
Yeah, exactly. So for the study, researchers reviewed social and communication networks of more than 700 former graduate students from a top-ranked business school in the United States. Each student in the study had accepted leadership-level positions, which were normalized for industry and region-specific salaries. The researchers then compared 3 variables of each student's social network. So three things they compared. Network centrality, which I'll explain in a second, the proportion of same-sex contacts, and the amount of strong versus weak network ties. So like how strong is the link between you and another person?
Right. Okay.
So the results showed that women with a high network centrality and a female-dominated inner circle have an expected job placement level that is 2.5 times greater than women with a low network centrality and a male-dominated inner circle. For men, the larger their network, regardless of gender makeup, the more likely they are to earn a high-ranking position.
Right.
They go on to say, we also saw that inner circles benefit from each other, suggesting that women gain gender-specific private information and support from their inner circle, while non-overlapping connections provide other job market details.
So women tell other women the secrets of how to
Bingo.
get ahead. And between men and women, we talk about just like regular ass shit.
But it might be useful for other things.
Right.
Oh, so-and-so, such a person, or this is kind of how that works.
Right.
Versus it's what I gather from this, and I want to dig more into the study, so you guys can too. We'll link it. Is they're going to tell you how to, I as a woman are going to tell Par something about how to deal with manage a relationship or manage, we actually have had these conversations recently, comically enough. Yeah. I've been telling Par, we're talking about a certain connection. This is how you might want to navigate the conversation you're going to have with them, because this is the kind of, in my experience, the kind of person they are.
Right.
Where she might not get that from you in that same scenario, as an example, even though you guys are even still close.
Right. That makes sense.
Because I might pick up on something a little different.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to all the amazing women in my life. You all know who you are, because there's like a bajillion of you.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So I have evidence to support it.
Yeah, I think that's interesting too, because I feel like I have a more, historically, I probably had a more like woman-centered close network. Mm-hmm. And it's only as of recently that, I mean, when you play sports, I guess like that exists, but it's just based on sport, right? Like,
right.
But now I'm looking, and it's only until recently where I've looked around like Dwayne and Mike and like Thompson and Bradley. It's like only as of recently have I seen like a lot of like man peers around. Mm-hmm. But I look back and it's like I've had a lot more women closer and like that openness and like connectivity too. So I guess I get it. Like for men, I guess like it really doesn't matter. But I feel like there's something about like the lady sharing secrets on how to do the shit. Like I want to be in on Gossip Talk too. I want to know how it works, and I feel like that's been a benefit for me. Like being a fly on the wall in a room full of women and like understanding the shit that women are doing.
But I wonder what you'll start to gain from having a wider male network, closer male network.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. I look forward to time telling me things. Is that all for your article?
Yeah, I just want to mention that because I thought it was interesting, and heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Don't you just love when you find evidence that like supports your opinion? Actual study, actual research, not.
Well, 2.5 times more success.
Can you forward that to me?
Yeah.
The link?
Send it.
Totally.
Yeah, send it.
Send you right now before I forget.
We'll post it in the link. Power will send the link to y'all so y'all can check out this link.
I'll send you right now.
So we can get more women working together.
Yeah.
So y'all can take over the world. Because I mean, y'all already run shit. Y'all already run shit. So
exactly.
I don't know why men are even trying to act like we got some kind of control or power. We ain't got shit.
Once more for the hoes in the back.
Gucci Prada and these racist motherfuckers. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
I can't even believe this. You just showed this to me earlier, and I was like, "This isn't even real life." I really wish when you guys showed me this shit, it wasn't real.
So what happens to that song now? Gucci Gang song.
what happens to
let's
Gucci?
get into it.
What happens to Gucci Mane?
Oh my God. Okay.
So here's what
you're
happened.
going to show the people the pictures, right?
Oh yeah, these will definitely be in the promo video.
100%.
Yeah, for sure they have to be. So Gucci and Prada both decided to come out with new lines of
Insensitive clothing.
So Gucci has a woman's sweater. It's black. It goes halfway.
It looks like a turtleneck.
Looks like a turtleneck to the nose. Around the lips is red lipstick and an open mouth. So like a ski mask, kind of like the bottom half of a ski mask, if a ski mask had red lipstick.
Yeah. Like if a turtleneck fucked a balaclava with lipstick on.
Precisely.
Without the eye part.
No, it's precisely.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, next to it, I now see some classic blackface cartoons that look pretty much exactly like the Gucci sweater. Prada did something very similar as well. They have this weird, like, cartoon figurine Sambo looking like blackface
it looks
figurine.
like it looks like it's a purse attachment. So
Yes.
something you would clip onto your bag.
Yeah.
Some people have little bows or pom-poms or little things you can dangle from your bag. Yeah. It looks like a blackface character.
I wonder if it's still on their website.
Oh my God.
I wonder if it is. Yeah, Para's going to check right now if it's all live on their website.
I know the Gucci pulled their shit. I know Gucci.
Good. At least they have.
Gucci pulled
Oh
it.
my God.
Okay, and then Prada did this other bag with this like black. Okay, so I guess there's a few layers to this, right? Like,
did you explain the last piece of clothing?
it's just this like leather.
It's a black puff coat?
Yeah, puff coat with a black like smiley face, but it's like
With the big red lips again.
the big red lips and the giant white eyes. So I guess question one is like, I mean, there's a lot of questions, but like, obviously this was done on purpose.
How did you take it? So, okay.
This is on purpose.
How did you go back one step?
Okay.
How did you take it when you first saw it at face value?
I laughed.
Right. And then you just showed me one after another,
Yeah.
and my eyes went from to
But I'm
how
not,
is this even?
but I'm not surprised.
Right.
Because in a time where, well, I mean, bad publicity has been deemed as good publicity for a very long time. So
Yeah.
I guess the thing is who's paying attention to Gucci Prada? Oh, everyone now that they made these racist things that prior we're talking, how does this make it past 60 people in production to make it to the sales floor?
From like sketching it out on a white piece of paper to the actual product
because it was
conception
done
from concept to execution to marketing. These images, at least when I first saw them, look very intentionally blackface.
Yes.
And like how does the first, but especially not the last marketing person go, should we get some of this?
Because they say, what have we been doing traditionally? How's that been working?
No, but hold on. Do you think that in this entire process, and maybe I'm going to answer my own question here.
Yes.
Did not one person,
multiple people
of African American descent get to see this?
Here's the thing. Where was it created? Because if it wasn't created in North America, my question is, are people on other sides of the world supposed to know about everything that offends people all over the world? Because I'm not saying that they don't know of blackface, but what I'm saying is with the H&M shit, that was we live in Europe, we ain't calling black people monkeys. That's some North American, because like North America, this is North American slave like history. That's
the storefront, like life-size versions
shit.
of it in the store.
Where?
Yeah, like where?
Because this is okay. That's a fair comment. Still,
For sure.
some fuckery.
Because
It just looks it looks so bad.
That has to be that to some level. That has to be there. Oh, we didn't know because no, everybody knew.
Manhattan.
Okay, so in
Holy
Manhattan,
shit.
you're telling me it was designed in Manhattan, it was in the storefront in Manhattan, and no one thought about that.
So yes, they did think about that, and they knew it would piss people off, and they knew that people would talk about Gucci and Prada.
Do you really think?
Yes, people are talking. We're talking about it right now.
Oh,
No, I know.
Prada released a statement too,
Saying
imaginary creatures are not intended to have any references to real world or certainly not blackface.
imaginary creatures.
Not intent. They're just, those keychains are imaginary creatures and not intended to have any reference to the real world.
So we didn't mean to piss people off, but we did, and so we're gonna make them anyway. Okay.
I just find it really hard to believe that someone didn't look at that and go,
They did.
do you think that might just be...
They did. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna quit your job at Gucci and Prada to make a stance at racism in high fashion? Good fucking luck.
Yeah.
So what? You see it and you say what? Well, they're definitely gonna talk about it. Oh, all right. Because that's the point of marketing, and sales and shit. Is to get people to talk about your thing. Because guess what? The people who are most outraged they can't afford that. They can't afford the product. So we're not selling it to you, person who's outraged. And guess what?
Yeah.
Because this is what happens, right? The richest black people in North America are gonna all be offended. So all the rappers and the athletes don't buy Gucci and Prada anymore. Do you think Gucci and Prada give a fuck?
They pulled it from the website.
Are the rappers...
They pulled it from the website.
But in Gucci and Prada's history, is their target market North American rappers? So do you think they give a fuck if Black America says, don't buy Gucci Prada no more?
Fair. I don't even know where to go on this argument here.
That they would get most of their sales from people like North American rappers who want to buy everything.
I think the world's much bigger than black.
No, truly, it is. But imagine if all the rappers in America stood to the stand and said, "We're not buying Gucci anymore." That's like millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, but I don't think it matters. Like because they're still going to sell to the white European, like that's their target.
You're saying the chunk of the pie that's dissatisfied customer doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So they get all this publicity to talk about their brand and product for what? For black North Americans to be outraged and then be pissed off by something 2 days later and forget that Gucci even did the shit. Because that's what's going to happen. We boycott things only for so long. Because that's the thing. Like, we're going to tweet it.
Because sadly it happens that fucking often.
But tweet it and repost it. All right, I'm not buying Gucci anymore. Okay. I wasn't buying that shit anyway. Okay. Like, to the person who's most pissed off about this, it doesn't really affect them. It's just a reason for people to tweet about shit. Oh, guess what? And they hashtag Gucci. Gucci Prada didn't win.
It's really gross about that.
Well, but that's the world, though. I know.
I'm sad. It's just sad.
Why?
Well, because it's just... Well, the other blatant example of...
I wonder whose imaginary creature that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
whose imaginary creature?
At Prada said, "I thought of this imaginary creature. Let's make this into a keychain."
The other blatant racist thing that I saw this week. So Kyler and I were in Superstore picking up some groceries, and I had to drop off a prescription. So we were killing some time. We were walking down the magazine aisle, flipping through a couple magazines, and stupidly, I pick up a Frank magazine.
Oh, shit.
And the reason I picked it up was because something on the front of the magazine said, like, you know, move over L. Jones, so-and-so is here kind of thing. I guess a new young kind of advocate kind of person. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's such a dick. Frank magazine also being the one that published that incredible racist cartoon of L. Jones at the Cornwall statue rally, and just like complete racist depiction of any person of color in that cartoon. And then, we didn't mean to draw it like that. Are you kidding me?
Bullshit
Again,
ass.
another example of that. So anyways, they're talking about some of the pipeline protests that have been going on here in support of other First Nations in BC.
Okay.
I don't know which specific First Nation, so I apologize. Not that up to date. But I was so irritated. In the article, he's using the word Indian. Intentionally, instead of indigenous or First Nations or anything else. He's repeatedly using the word Indian throughout this article, referring to like drummers or people that were there performing parts of ceremonies. And I look at Kyle and I'm like, what the hell? How can you be so blatant and use a word that obviously people don't use for a reason? And he goes, to get a reaction out of people. Yes. And I'm like, walking away. Yeah. Mission accomplished. I'm just like, how can you just be so willfully ignorant? Yeah. And it's very frustrating. So anyways, that to me is it just makes me super mad.
It's sick.
It just makes me super mad. Yeah.
But not surprised.
I shouldn't be surprised. I just get disappointed, which I guess to me means I'm a bit surprised, you just think people have more integrity and more understanding. Yeah. And what the hell year is this? Yeah. That's really the like, what year is this? Yeah. Very frustrating.
Speaking of what year it is, did you hear? We didn't talk about this. I wish we would have, and I wish there was more information for us to talk about this. Okay. So we're gonna probably have to continue this story. Did you hear about what happened to the young people who went up to the Parliament building?
Oh God.
What's Trayvon Clayton? Marquise's little brother? No, it was Trayvon Clayton. And she was on the Cashmere's episode. One of the two youth that spoke at the end. There it is. There it is right there. We interviewed Trayvon Clayton and Kate McDonald, who were racially profiled at Parliament Hill. We didn't speak much about the incident, but we had an in-depth.
Who was?
Kate McDonald.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, so apparently they went up there to Parliament Hill. It's Black History Month. It was apparently a conversation at Parliament Hill to talk about like racism and things, and they were met at the Parliament Hill door with racism and things, and like aggressively patted down, and yeah, it was not a good experience for these young people from Halifax. So it was like 50 people of color from across the country, and they all met there, and this is what happened. So it's another, and Emily Miller, shouts out to Emily Miller. She sent me a video about, it's called Encounter at Quacha House, Halifax. It's a story, Rocky Jones and a bunch of other people talking about their experiences with racism living here in Halifax, being on Godwin Street, walking down the street, going to all these restaurants, seeing all these people, all these black people in the restaurants eating food, not one black worker in the whole building. So how can you take our money, but you can't provide us with jobs and opportunities to uplift ourselves? So just talking about some of the racism. And Emily said this to me because she said, I seen your post about trying to find a place to live here in Halifax. And Rocky was talking about, I went to thing and they said, okay, well, we need to sign a 4-year lease, and told him that
4-year lease,
and then which they eventually then rented the place to students. He was like, I don't know no students that signed 4-year leases, but this is the type of stuff he was talking about, just like the bullshit that people will make up, because people could tell you anything, right? Like, oh, you weren't accepted, you didn't. But I have the credit check thing, so I can go on the thing and see when my credit was checked. So if you're asking for my credit information to see if I'm able to be accepted for this apartment application, but you don't run my credit, and I can look at the thing and see my credit hasn't been run, but you're telling me I'm not accepted. What are we talking about here?
Oh my God, Terrence.
So it was a conversation about, and you start to see the things that like these are conversations from the 60s that we're still sitting here having in 2019, and it's like I don't want to like play the race card and like beat the race bell like over and over again, but it's like, all right, no, there's like some really wild shit that happens to people of color in this country and in this side of the world, and it's just like this shit is unacceptable, and people just like, it's like no big deal. Like, oh, we're just gonna make these figurines and call them creatures. They're not. Oh, so even still, like, we're still seen as less than. You're mocking black people and then calling them creatures. These aren't people, these creatures. So you're still less than. You're not even human. So it's just like this that you laugh off because it's like, what can you do? Like, this is how it is. So, but it's like it's not how it should be, but it's what it is. And so it's like, how do you deal with the bullshit when it's just like, it's just fucked up, yo. Just wild shit happens. So yeah.
Another day is something new with racism.
Yeah. It's just.
Where's the next racist ass person that's gonna do some racist ass shit?
Just give it time. It's only Sunday.
Yeah, we're just starting the week off. Woo-hoo.
Speaking of racist people doing racist shit, hi Liam Neeson.
Oh God! So this is where this is going.
So,
okay. I'm glad we're ending the week on a really high note, you guys.
Right. Race chats and bullshit. So for those of you who didn't hear about Liam Neeson said some fuck shit. So long story short, Liam Neeson had a friend, and Liam Neeson's friend was her.
Okay.
And she was allegedly sexually assaulted. And so she got away from this person, found Liam Neeson, and said, I've been sexually assaulted by this person. And what is he? What does he look like? He said, oh, he's black. So Liam Neeson, for about a week, roamed the streets with
harassing black men
with a crowbar or some sort of weapon, looking to murder, and I quote, some black bastards.
That's what he said?
That's what Liam Neeson said.
He said, I
was roaming the streets looking to murder one of these black bastards. So not murder the person who actually assaulted his friend. Just like anybody who was just black, who he happened to just cross paths with, he was gonna kill. He was out there looking for niggers to kill. And he admitted this willfully in an interview.
What was the response to the interview?
He was actually escorted out of a red carpet. Like,
he was escorted out.
You can't be here. Like, you have
because of shenanigans. Yeah. Well, you can't say that.
Like, how is that okay now?
Not even that guy. One of these.
And he said it was because
none of it makes it good.
He grew up in Ireland and he had racist experiences and not like, so he admitted his racial
bias,
right? And so he was like, okay, so there's the conversation was, okay, so he just willingly offered up this information. First of all, why would you do that? Because in the time of cancel culture, well, people are just going to latch on to some bullshit and hang you for it. No pun intended. But why would you volunteer? Like, why would you volunteer information? Like, and what do you think people are going to say? What good can come from that? That you just was mad and you just wanted to just find some random black person to kill them. Like, what the like? And people just think that's bruh. Lord, what the fuck world has the world come to?
Well, you can see my face. Everybody watching see my face. You're
shocked when this shit happens, aren't you?
Well,
How?
Why do people think it's okay? You know, what has their experience been to give them these biases? Like, what the hell? Yeah, I do get speechless when it comes to this shit because, like, besides us all knowing that it's absolutely ridiculous and shouldn't be happening, what do you say to that? When people are willfully ignorant or they're ignorant for other reasons, and it seemingly is becoming, well, that kind of leads into that what Kyler mentioned earlier. When you give people platforms to speak on, do you have a certain social obligation to make sure, like, do you have a social obligation to anybody? Should you be giving anybody a platform to run their mouth on?
Because when they say some wild shit like this and it's attached to you in your space, that's kind of you putting the shit out, whether you said it or not.
And I know, we're called changing the narrative and we want to be able to share different perspectives on this show.
Right.
But let's say, I think someone's asked me this before. Would you guys have members of the Proud Boys on your show?
Who are the Proud Boys?
The guys that interrupted the Indigenous protest at the Cornwallis statue. Like when everyone was there. Remember all the white guys, the Proud Boys from the military that all happened to be in the military showed up and they were like trying to, antagonize these people that were protesting?
And your answer was?
I said, I don't know. I think it would be, I hope that this platform would be a place where people can have rational discussions about things.
Right.
And maybe we can all start to understand why both sides start to feel a certain way about something. So we can come to mutual understanding and grow together.
Right.
Move somewhere together. Understand that we probably have something in common, yet we focus on the certain things that we don't have in common, and then we get really pissed off about them and find a reason to dislike each other or feel hateful or all those kinds of things.
Big facts.
But if you were bringing someone on this platform and you didn't think you would have a rational discussion with them and they were only going to use it as an opportunity to push forward their own agenda without any other consideration, would we be willing to do that? I don't know. So I don't want to sit here and only share one point of view. Right. Because then I think we become something that we don't intend and something that we don't support either. Right. We're trying to help people think about some stuff. So I would love to have that difference of opinion, but not if it's going to be hateful.
At the risk of what? Right.
At the risk of what? Because to Kyler's point, and of course I'll put it a lot more eloquently than I, but there are lots of different people listening. And if they latch on to a piece of information that isn't accurate, said by someone that has a lot of cachet, cough, cough, Jenny McCarthy, cough, cough, autism and vaccines, then what? If you use that example, there are actual cases of the measles in the States right now, you guys. A disease that's been eradicated for decades is now on the loose again and on the rise because people aren't vaccinating their children. Yeah, so now you can be the one that's surprised right now. Yeah, see? How's it feel?
It doesn't make sense.
Of course it doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. It's foolishness. And that's my point. When you give someone with completely inaccurate facts a platform that has any kind of cachet, what are you doing? Because if you're trying to have a rational argument with someone like, as an example, and I don't know Jenny McCarthy, but I can only imagine if you're going to sit here and argue about how vaccines actually protect people from eradicated diseases, and if we don't want to have another plague, we might want to keep vaccines around. Do you think that us sitting here and talking about it is going to change her mind?
Well, and that's
or is she going to change my mind?
Right.
You're not going to change my mind when you've got millions of pieces of evidence to suggest or to prove vaccines are safe. And then you have one study that's been proven to be made up and paid for and doctored and whatever. Yeah. So yeah, kids are dying from measles again.
Yeah. I guess that's the beauty of being your own boss of your own creativity. It's like, if you came on here talking some bullshit, we just wouldn't put that shit out.
Well, so I guess that's kind of the safeguard is if it was that ridiculous, we just wouldn't.
Yeah. We would talk about how much, we would have another episode talk about how much bullshit there was, but we just wouldn't let you come on here and speak on bullshit. No, why? We just wouldn't. Like, turn the fucking mics and the cameras off. Not on. So yeah, there has to be some ability to agree to disagree even.
I guess so.
Like, we don't have to always come to the same conclusion, but we all have to be willing to be able to articulate that and like be able to see both sides of it.
I don't think your shitty opinion should be bringing harm to other people. That's kind of where I think that's where it is all line for me. You know, if there was a new kid around and sometimes babies are too young to get vaccines, and you knew your kid got measles from some other kid that didn't have a vaccine,
I'd be hella pissed.
Oh, like... Yeah. Your kid can't even defend themselves at that point. Yeah. Like, how do you feel about that? You know, that, and by making ignorant mistakes, how many people are going to have to suffer at the hands of Gucci and Prada? Because there's going to be other kids running around probably rich, privileged private schools. Yeah. You know, running their mouth about that kind of shit.
That was my other question. If that Gucci sweater came in red or tan or blue or pink, are people outraged? Is it because the sweater's black? Is it because the screenshot that's going around is of a black sweater? What if there's 7 other colors of this sweater?
That's a great point.
And the black one just happens to look like blackface, but the tan one is a woman who tans and has red lipstick on and wants to talk. Then what?
This is a great... See, Terrence, is a great point. We should look it up. Does it have other colors?
Can you check and see if... And sorry to backtrack and get us off topic,
but this is a fair point. Because I think it's a really good illustration of what's put in front of us as the instabait or whatever to incite reaction is done in a certain way. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to feel a little silly that I didn't ask you if there were other colors of the sweater. And then I automatically went to, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. Because
if you tell me there's no other color sweater and it was only made in black with red, then I am going to back up my first point of, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. And that's, I guess
fact check, people.
$8 for that sweater.
How much?
$890.
$890.
If you want to dress in blackface for only 4 payments of $200.
Yeah. That's what you said. They call it a wool balaclava jumper.
A wool balaclava jumper.
That's what they call it.
Balaclavas don't have lips on them. I'm just saying.
They got big red juicy ones when they got blackface on.
Yeah. Anyway. Either way, optically, people, it doesn't look good.
It's removed from their online stores and physical stores. So
okay. Well, we'll try and fact check. So yeah, in all fairness, I feel a little silly to react to. Oh, here we go. I'm really glad this is possible, by the way.
Yeah, we got our shit all rigged up. Please answer. Please answer. Oh, please answer.
Can you please just leave a message if he doesn't pick up? Oh,
Mike Tanner.
Hi.
Mike Tanner, this is Terrence Taylor of the Changing the Narrative podcast. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well this evening, sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. I have to let you know that you are being recorded right now. Lauren is here.
I kind of thought that was possible.
Perfect.
Wasn't that cool though?
Lauren is here with me. Parvati is here with me. We are talking about...
We've got a burning question for you.
Racist white men.
Well, you've basically called us kind of my expertise, I think, from what I've seen on the internet.
Our white race correspondent. Mike Tanner. How do you feel about what's happening with the great Liam Neeson?
The great?
With the great Liam Neeson. I don't know if great is necessarily what I would say, but I think that you can really easily separate what's happening with Liam Neeson from the way it's being reported on, portrayed, and explained by both sides of the conversation.
Okay.
Like, I think like there's people on either sides of the conversation being so ridiculous that it starts to not really be about what's happening and more about people being like, what's the craziest thing I could say
right
now about this.
Can you elaborate? Who's saying what's ridiculous on both sides? I feel like I'm missing some context.
Did you hear what Michelle Rodriguez said?
Yeah, the Michelle Rodriguez piece is actually what I'm really talking about there.
Okay, so I'm not aware. Can you please provide the context?
Yeah, I can, and you will. I can't wait.
Oh God! I think maybe Kyler did send this to me. I
Michelle
didn't read it yet.
Rodriguez, who I believe is a co-star of his in Widows, his newest movie. One of his movies.
Yeah, one of the stars of Fast and Furious. You remember Letty from?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
She cute.
So she stated that because he made out really hard with Viola Davis, he can't possibly be racist. Basically that you couldn't do that with someone of a race that you didn't like.
Even though white slave masters was raping black slaves and making babies with them.
Listen, I'm getting paid.
Yeah, that was
do whatever you do. You're getting paid. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
God.
My thing was like, I mean, you have literally like.
Plus, she's also like hot, so you know.
So she gets to say whatever.
Basically.
No. I mean Viola Davis.
Oh, Viola Davis, yes.
She's like, that's who I'm thinking of, right? She's like good looking.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're gonna. Yeah. Oh, it's so hard to make out with a beautiful person.
Yeah, so I just think like it's funny. I've been thinking about this on a bunch of other topics too lately. In terms of.
Oh yeah, she's badass. She's in That's What I Thought. How to Get Away with Murder.
We're doing a disservice to these conversations by taking these really, really far-reaching sort of stances on either side, and it ends up being something you can't even really talk about because, like, literally no one's being reasonable about the conversation. One of the things that I liked was actually what Terry Crews had to sort of say about it. His sort of thing was that if we don't allow someone like Liam Neeson to say, I had a really terrible thought, and I thought and was potentially going to do a really terrible thing, and I believe it was terrible, and I'm glad I didn't, and I feel like I'm in a better place because of it. If we can't let people do that, then what's the point?
Mike, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is the point of people voluntarily sharing their innermost awful things? Like, why didn't Liam Neeson why did he have to say that at all? Like,
so I guess part of my thing would be, do you want people to, and maybe we do, like, I don't know, but do you want people to say what is actually happening, or do you want people to sort of hide behind what they're supposed to say? Like, personally, I was talking about this, I think we talked about this before actually with Chad Lucas, when we were talking about some of the things that were being said online by Trump supporters, etc. And one of the things we said was, well, at least we know how people actually feel,
right?
Because they're coming out and say it. So personally, I would rather know that this is something that Liam Neeson thought and did and wrestled with and now is in the position he's in, than to have never known this at all. Because he, as you said, he volunteered it. He could have literally never talked about this. It wasn't going to come out.
Like, you don't think everybody has come up with and like thought some like really evil, sick shit? Like, we all shouldn't be like, hey, and I guess maybe that's to your point. Like, if everybody's willing to air out all of their sick shit, then like, is sick shit even sick anymore? But like,
well, I think it still is. I mean, let's be really clear. Like, I'm certainly not suggesting that what he thought was even remotely okay.
Right.
Like it's not even on the spectrum of like something that is remotely considering okay. And
but
so
I think
you can air out your garbage, and if we all air it out and it's still garbage, it's still garbage.
so. The fact that a white guy wanted to murder some black people just randomly doesn't surprise me, because I feel like white people have probably, everybody has felt like wanting to just do some shit just on a whim out of emotion anyway. So that's my point, is like,
so what I would be very careful about, and this is what I've seen a lot, is the conversation of like, it was just on a whim, it was just because. His background story for wanting to do it,
yes,
was not just on a whim.
That's very true.
It related to the sexual assault of someone,
right?
And so it wasn't just him sort of saying like, one day I decided I don't like black people and I thought I would do this. It was him saying a specific situation made him generally upset, like he's stereotypically upset with an entire race of people, which is obviously ridiculous.
Right.
But it was I that's the thing. Like, again, I don't excuse it. I don't think it was the right thing to do. But me personally, I want to know that people can think terrible things and then go, that was a terrible thing. And then move on to a better place from it.
Yeah, but no one's going to move on from a better place after you say, I want to take vigilante justice and walk down the street for a week and hope to find black people to murder one of them. Not murder the person who assaulted my friend, just anyone who has black skin. Like,
that's fair. What I guess I mean is that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not suggesting that what he was talking about was remotely okay.
Right.
But I think that,
Mike, I get what you're. I think I get both sides of it, and I agree, and I think I have this conversation with some people semi-regularly. Is like, isn't the intention of us being able to talk about these things to be able to learn and grow from it? But I guess the thing that always makes me nervous is when people get a platform without having to answer to a backstory. Like, that has some context. It's not necessarily appropriate context, or suitable, but it is what happened.
Yeah.
But when people run around and say these things or flash these images, and then people just get polarized, and there's no conversation about it.
Right.
That's why it makes me so nervous, because you can just feel both sides getting heated up. And I guess when I look at that, when there's no communication, the only place for that to go is escalation. And at the end of escalation, what does that look like? What makes me nervous is that it turns into violence.
Right.
That's why I get so hesitant about that kind of stuff. So,
and that's one of the
gotta be able to talk about it at some point.
Right.
Yeah. That was one of the reasons I really liked what I mean, generally I like Terry Crews a lot. But I find a lot of his content is him basically saying like, look, if y'all want to talk about this, we can do that. Like, if you don't, we're done. Like, I'm not just gonna take hardline stances on people and us not get into a conversation.
Didn't he refer to this as a fork in the road for Liam Neeson?
He did. He referred to it as like sort of as a, I think more of like
do I kill black people or do I let them live?
See, that kind of thing, like saying that and putting it in those exact contexts is, I think, exactly what's problematic.
Right.
Like, I think that you're turning it into that statement is both true and not necessarily helpful to the overall conversation, because what Terry Crews is saying is an individual had an opportunity to either do something really awful, which we all have in some cases an opportunity to do,
right?
For the total wrong reasons, obviously, or he had the opportunity to say, I recognize like a mental instability at this moment, and I am so glad that I didn't act on that, and now I get to recognize how unstable I was in that moment. I mean, he doesn't come out of this, like, Liam Neeson doesn't laugh it off in that conversation.
Right.
He's very serious about it. And again, the fact that he brought it up, like, there's stuff coming up that no one, like, there's all this stuff coming out that people are trying to hide for years and years and years. Versus someone who says, okay, well, let's have a conversation about when I was terrible. And like, again, there was no chance this was coming out.
Right.
Like the reporter even said, like, I read an interview with the reporter and she said, like, this came from nowhere. Like, we did not have a discussion about this. This was not like we didn't mention a rumor about something. He just told this story. Wow. Now you could suggest that it comes from a pretty incredible place of privilege, that you could just tell a story like that and then go, okay, well, what's the next thing we're talking about? Like, there's certainly a part of me that goes like, I can't believe that you could just do that. But also, again, like Lauren kind of said, like, I want the conversation. Like, I want to talk it out. There's people that eventually you're going to figure out, okay, they don't want to talk and we're done.
Right.
But I think that, I don't think that Liam Neeson is someone that we want to end the conversation with. Like, I'd love to know more about that thought process and more about why he thought that was okay and why he decided it wasn't okay.
I like you, Mike.
So rational.
As the token was
He's playing his role very well.
Yeah, I assume that there's going to be some way that you cut this into some sort of promo where it's me looking like I said something awful so that we can play this off for the ratings.
No,
Whatever
we can't
it
do that
takes to sell the product, Mike. Don't you know how clickbait works?
Yeah.
I know exactly how.
Snake ass motherfuckers, I see you up there.
Mike,
Are
we
you
love
in the
you.
business of running
Thanks for picking up.
To be honest, I
Thank
have
you.
no problem.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Snake ass
And going back to
motherfuckers, I
being
see you
dad
up
now.
there. Are you in the business of running scams?
My kids
to
are
be
in
honest,
bed.
I think
Nice.
I believe we are going to be watching the final episode of Marie Kondo's Tidying Up.
Oh, we should all watch that and talk about it later because I've heard crazy reviews about that too.
Honestly, we took a trunk full of stuff to Value Village today.
Good for you.
Nice.
And I'm pretty happy with this stuff.
Because it didn't bring you joy.
that I've been doing from it. No, it really didn't. You know what? And we really should talk about this on another thing because there's like tons of different sub stories that come into it.
Awesome.
But it's pretty. Honestly, watch it. It's pretty incredible.
Add it to the list. Hars added to the list.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Boom.
Cool.
Mikhail.
Talk to you.
I appreciate you, sir.
Inches.
Love.
Bye.
Bye.
Much love, guys.
That was
Good
so
perspective.
cool. Hey.
Good perspective. I like this phone a friend format a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
we can
totally.
We can talk to whoever we want to. I like that Mike talks about race shit and amongst colored folks, and we need to hear it. I think it's great. I love picking at him.
Agreed.
I love picking at Mike, and I love that he has a position. He got to stand on that shit. Not that Mike is like the great white hope and like speak for all white people, but he has a perspective within a conversation that like typically we kind of we shut down.
Yeah, but I like that he challenged you too.
Yeah, you got to
See, that's what.
You
That's
got
what
it.
we're.
Yeah, changing the narrative, baby. That's what we're here to do.
What a crazy week.
That was a good chat, eh? That was a good episode. Par's happy. Our producer back there, she's happy.
Our producer,
Parvati. Is that it? We shut it down? Is that it? Anything else
I'm all
going
raced
on?
out, man.
Anything else? I know, right?
I got some like reflecting to do about my trigger to jump on that. I got to think about that some. I think we've been in it a lot.
Yeah.
And we talk about it a lot and we see it a lot. And I think sometimes it's good to just zoom out and have a different perspective. Not saying that we're wrong necessarily or shit isn't screwed up, but I'll reflect on that. Am I being helpful by jumping on it so quick?
It's a good question to ask yourself.
Learning.
Keep doing it. Keep learning. Keep being creative. I just want to tell people that. Keep being creative. Keep making shit. keep talking to your friends who don't look like you and they got different lives than you and talk about different perspectives. Because I heard a lot of people shitting on Terry Crews. It's very interesting to hear people who would defend the side of it. And I just love that. Like, I love that we are okay with just like not agreeing on some shit or seeing a perspective and being okay with that.
Agreed.
God damn it.
It was fun. I missed you. Missed you guys.
I miss you too, Lo. Pirate's back. Don't leave us again. So just a little quick tidbit for the listeners. We're about to get on our if we were like a real production like show, like real produced like show on TV where they like do seasons and stuff and they like pre-record like 10, 15 episodes and then like boom, they go on like hiatus for a few months. Yeah, we're trying to get in our bag. Trying to step our production game up.
We are. Step up the production game so we can step up the self-care game too.
That's what I'm saying. So we got 17 people, 17 interviews that we've got lined up that we're going to try to get done in the next number of weeks. And we'll have some fire content from some really dope people. Do you want to tell the people, some of the people who we got coming on the show? We got to give them a little teaser.
We got but I mean, geez. All kinds of topics.
That's what I'm saying. All kind of diversity. What's it? Tyler Simmons. Tyler Simmons going to come talk to us. Dexter's coming back. Dexter Unibay's coming back. Bradley Day and
Matt Thompson.
Hoping
to bring in some of my powerful female entrepreneur friends.
Yes.
Like Steph McDonald, Allie England.
Yeah. Come true.
And my school sisters brunch date. In March. Looking at you.
Yeah. Do that. Shaquille Smith's coming. Meshach Lufau and his brother Chadwick. They both play for the Halifax Hurricanes.
Got some sports. Got some arts.
Yeah,
got some quirks.
Yeah, we're gonna continue our masculinity, femininity, gender wars conversation. So Steph Pronk's coming through. Ruth McMullen's coming through. Ross Simmons is coming through. Jan and Chris from A for Adventure
Boys, please.
Yeah, yo, we got Halifax's finest. We got Rodney Small, Lindell Smith. We got folks. The city.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty lit actually. So
we got some amazing people here. So and if you guys have any suggestions, who should we be talking to? You folks gotta let us know.
Tell us. We here for the people. Like, what else is the purpose of doing this? We here for you people because y'all listen. So if you tell us who you want to listen to, we'll bring them on the show. That's how it goes.
Or don't. And maybe we'll just bring on people you don't like.
And then
it's on you.
Just be part of the movement. Be part of the process. Be part of the decision making. We giving y'all ability to have say. Say something, damn it. And something special for episode 69.
Yeah, hoping. Par's gonna try and work her magic. Let's do it.
Freak Nasty Life. Changing the narrative.ca.
What? 69's like, that means like a sex thing?
That's when one person puts their tongue in the...
Yeah. Roll it out.
Changing the narrative.
That's Patreon shit right there.
Oh, yes.
Really, really hard.
Yeah.
Can you dry hump during 69?
Oh, my God.
Change the narrative.
Oh God.
Change the narrative.ca. CTN podcast on Instagram. We on YouTube. We on Facebook. We on Spotify. We on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you just tune in and listen. Tell a friend. Tell your mama. Tell the young people, but tell them that we curse a lot. So we spit that real shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just talk foolish. We just here for the jokes. You know what I'm saying? Lauren, where they find you at?
At Placemaking Toward G or at Common Good for All.
Bing, 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 boom, boom, boom. Terrence J. Taylor on Instagram. TerrenceTaylorMedia.com. That's it. That's all.
That's it.
That's a good ass episode, yo.
Bye.
I'm impressed with us. I fuck with us. This is Changing the Narrative podcast. We'll talk to you beautiful ass people next week. Deuce. Lauren.
What?
Bye.
Bye.
There we go. Now we out of here.